Well, here I am again, um, hanging out here in nature. I'm up here a little bit further away from Uppsala, where I live. Um, in this place, this is called the Trefaldighet Källa. Oops. And it is a place where Trefaldighet means the Trinity, and because in a couple of weeks we'll be celebrating the Trinity, that God is Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And here is one of those places where people came because they believed that here they could be healed. And it's a long story since the Middle Ages of people being healed here. Um, so I'm going to try to turn this up here a little bit and see if I can make this a little bit bigger. So there we go. There we go. A little bit bigger. So there. I hope everyone can hear me really well. Uh, so, yes. So when we're out here in the nature in Sweden, um, it's often a time where we have a chance to pray. It's actually a good way to meet people in Sweden too. So one of the things I want to take up from yesterday was this whole idea about African Americans and this whole idea about us. Uh, it's really muddy here, so I'm gonna try to hopefully try to to yeah to talk to you a little bit about some things. Okay, so someone told me that predominantly African American churches will not contribute to foreign mission. And I'd like to challenge that. One of the things here that we know that gospel music, the music I grew up listening to, I grew up singing to it, um, on the West Coast in California, I know that gospel music reaches people here in Sweden. And I really am looking forward to having not just predominantly African American churches, any Christian who is interested in mission, any Christian who's interested in seeing people come to faith in Jesus Christ in one of the toughest environments there is. I know everyone talks about the 1040 window, but let me tell you, here in Northern Europe, or just Europe in general, where hardly anyone ever comes to church, most people, in Sweden, atheism is the norm. Most people think that God doesn't exist, and why would you want to come? And there's so few people that come to church. And so here's an opportunity that through gospel music, through confirmation, through a lot of different kinds of things that helps people to come into contact with people of faith, then it's possible for them to observe that faith, ask questions, study along the way as they come to know more and more about Jesus Christ. So that's the whole thing. My friend Swing is coming. So this is part of today's recording to talk to you. I like to challenge African American congregations to contribute to the mission here. I like to challenge Christians just in general in America to contribute to what's going on here and to help and to see that people can come to faith in Jesus Christ here, even though it takes a lot longer. It takes building relationships. It takes being genuine. It takes daring to live your faith in front of people. Talking to your neighbors, the un-Swedish thing, which is to talk to your neighbors and stuff like that. But I'm challenging everyone who's watching these videos that you would let your heart be open to the possibility, not to ignore the 1040 window. That's a great opportunity for us to reach out. But also think that in places like Sweden and in Finland and in Denmark, that here in Scandinavia, the gospel also needs to be preached, and it needs to be taught, and needs to be lived out. And we need your help to do it. So please join us in doing that. Please contribute. Don't forget to ask questions about life here as an African American, life as a Christian, life with gospel music, life in a church plant. So continue to do that, and God bless you and keep you, and continue to watch every single day. Take care, everyone. God bless. Well, here I am out here in Skidskär. And so I thought I would do this in two parts today. So I was out in the nature a little bit earlier. Now I'm out here because I missed the train. And so I have to eat something before I go home. So I have an hour left of my hour and a half for the train. But the whole thing about supporting missions. So I believe that that the Great Commission is for every single believer, right? And if the Great Commission is for every single believer, then every single believer has to figure out, how do I contribute? What's my part? The reason I would like for you to be a partner with us in what we're doing here in Sweden is obviously because here there are a lot of people who need the gospel. And if I can give you an idea what it's like in Uppsala, where we're based at, Uppsala is almost about 300,000 people. So if you count the over 200,000 people that are there, we get in about 45,000 students at the university. We have 2 universities in town. We have a couple of theological seminaries in town. So if you count all the students that are coming in, it's about 45 or so thousand. So that gives us 245,000, plus, a few thousand immigrants, asylum seekers, people just, coming to Uppsala. So we're pretty close to 300,000. All the churches together, doesn't matter what denomination you are, but all the churches together would be less than 10,000 people. So that's all the churches gathered together on a Sunday. On an average Sunday, it's going to be less than 10,000 people. And you think about that, you think like 10% should be about almost 30,000. So now we're like a third of that, which is about the average. It's about 3%. About 3%, 2.5%, 3% of the people in Sweden would be what we would classify as born again believers. So someone who says, I have a confession of Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. He died on the cross for my sins, and I'm counting only in what Christ has done. Okay, so it's about depending upon the work of Christ on the cross. And so in that town where we're at in Uppsala, there's just a lot of people who still haven't heard the gospel. Now, our niche in cross culture is obviously we were trying to reach out to the families of small children. Obviously, we want to provide a home for the Christian exchange student, especially, who's the student who's coming over from another place, but already has a faith in Jesus Christ, but doesn't speak Swedish. You have to speak English to come to the university. So you can handle English in some way. We're obviously trying to meet what we call the cross-cultural families, which usually it's a Swedish person who's either dating or is married to someone from another culture, another ethnicity, or their children. So like my children who are half African American and half something else. So we're trying to build this community where it's not just based on one type of ethnicity. If you think about that, so that would be a community both of disciples, as well as a community that's into training and teaching people, equipping people, encouraging people to be able to share their faith. And then sharing the faith, so both evangelism and discipleship. And we've chosen not to choose one or the other. We've chosen not to separate the social side of our faith, helping the poor, helping the needy, helping those without families, those who are in jail, those who are in bondage of some type. We don't separate that from theology. So we believe that a good theology is a theology that also includes the social gospel in it. Sorry, I just got myself in something here. And so that's really important to build that kind of a community. So we have, if you look at our board, right now the chairman of the board is South African. The last chairman of the board was from Switzerland. Her husband is still on the board, and he's from Switzerland. Another person who's on the board was her parents are from Vietnam, but she's grown up in Germany. There's a few Swedish people. I'm the only American in our group right now. Sometimes we get Americans in, but usually I'm just like the only one. We have a guy on the board who's from Romania, and his wife and children are part of the community. So, I mean, we're talking about people from different cultures, different places, different backgrounds, even different types of flavors of Christianity. But we believe that because we all love Jesus, and that's the most important thing. That's a truck that just came in. So sorry. We believe that that's the kind of community we're trying to build, and that's the kind of community that if you're looking to support missions overseas, that's a little different. That's multicultural. That has both discipleship and evangelism. Then we're probably something that you'd want to consider supporting, both in prayer or financially. As I said before, if you want to send a team over, just get in contact with us. There's certain times of the year that are better than other times. We are up north, and so it gets pretty cold up here. So if you're not really ready for the cold, don't come in the winter time. But otherwise, it's really beautiful here in Sweden. We have 4 seasons here, and it's a great place. It's very safe here in Sweden. It's very open. Yeah, and I'll try to do a little more where I can go around and show you some more of the kind of places that are here. All right. Well, that was just a little bit more about today, and I'm hoping that churches and Christians who see this will contact their mission board or mission organization, or just talk together about a bunch of friends and say, hey, you know what? Let's try to support this, And don't be so concerned about yeah, of course we need to, if you want to know our cost, we need to raise about $10,000 a month. That's ministry money. That's obviously to also go to my salary is not going to be that much. So that's to cover my salary plus the taxes and fees that we have to pay on that. It's to give us some money for ministry. We'd like to get to a place where we can actually have our own place. Right now we're renting from another church, which means we're very limited in what we can do in ministry, because we always have to factor in, do we have the budget for that? And it would be a lot easier if we could find a place where we could set our own little stamp on that. So, but all things, relative, all things in their timing, as God gives and provides for that. Yeah, so that's a little bit more. And I hope that those of you who are looking for an opportunity to invest in missions and invest in discipleship, invest in Europe, that you would see us as a possibility. And like I said before, there are possibilities for us to branch out even more internationally because of where Uppsala is situated, that people just come there from all over the world. So we want to get people trained, connect with people, and support them as they're starting up Bible study groups or churches or whatever when they get back home to their own home environment. So that's pretty much that. All right. Well, that's enough for today. This is the second message. I guess they're all too long. I got to cut them down. But God bless you. God keep you. Thank you for following. Please click on the like button and click on the bell thing so you get an announcement. I'm just going to keep putting these out every single day. Ask questions if you want to know about what it's like to be a Christian in Sweden or African American, or, how is it? I'm ordained as a priest in the Church of Sweden. How is that as for an American, coming from a totally different background to this one? Whatever you want to know, whatever your question you have, I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. May God bless you and keep you. May you look for an opportunity to be a blessing to someone, and may He fill you with His peace and presence. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you. Bye-bye. See you guys.